You're listening to the Holistic Synergy Podcast. Join us as our hope is to inspire and empower individuals to cultivate a harmonious balance between spirit, soul, and body.
We are so glad that you've joined us, and we believe that true wellness is all about embracing every part of your life. By having casual conversations, sharing expert tips, and telling real stories, we are here to guide you and our listeners on the exciting journey to holistic living. Hi, Miss Jaimi.
Anita.
How are you tonight?
Good.
We are a little later this week.
Y'all are sorry. All right.
It has been a very busy week in both households, right?
Yes, it's been crazy.
So we actually had a text message earlier that we were laughing because they're like, "Where's the podcast this week? It's been 7 days."
I'm like, sorry.
So we are a little behind schedule, and we're in a different place tonight. We're relaxing on the couch.
Yeah.
And doing a little different tonight. But that's one thing I love because we're keeping it casual.
That's right.
And that's
Not
really
so
what we
crazy.
wanted to do, right? So we are in a different little spot, but we're just chilling tonight and decided that we were going to have our little conversation, our casual conversation.
Yeah. To help people know what we're doing.
Right.
What
yeah.
we offer for your body.
That's right. Tonight's going to be we're going to talk about our body and our health and that's holistically, which is one of our main body, soul, and spirit.
That's right.
So we really want to at least one time a month focus especially on the body and that's one of the main things that you do.
Yes.
Right?
Can't wait for them to see you in the cold plunge.
Oh yeah,
See,
that could be a podcast. So
it only lasts 2 minutes and we're done.
I have to get my nerve up. I gotta do it. Get your nerve, Anita. Get your nerve.
Especially when you know you're being videoed. It's like, okay, I can't make any weird faces either. Okay.
I can remember Dylan playing football, and as soon as they came off the field, they had to get straight into the big, like those troughs.
Yep.
Filled with the water, and it was ice cold. And I'm thinking, how do y'all do that?
Yep.
But
You feel so good afterwards. I know.
Exactly.
The recovery is awesome.
Yeah. So we got to talk about all the goods and what we have. Just to start off, I was going to read our scripture because it's really based on what we're talking about, and is about our body and how important it is. That's one of the 3 areas that we are really focusing on our podcast. So 3 John 1:2 says, "I pray that you may prosper and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit."
That's right. I mean, you got to take care of your body.
You have to.
That's the biggest thing. And we offer that holistic approach to where you don't have to take all these medicines. You don't have to be on that. You can at least try something different. So we just at least give you an option that here's some other things we can try.
Exactly. Exactly. And I remember the first time that I tried it.
Yeah.
We moved here and met you, and I was the sickest. I don't get sick very often, but when I do, that one knocked me out.
All over.
It
right?
was,
Make sure.
I think it was. I mean, it was the flu, or I don't know. It was bad. And Tracy was actually with you guys at the homeless outreach and told you how sick I was. I could not. I think it was my second day. I just could not get up, and I couldn't breathe. It was one of the sickest that I can remember being. And but I was so sick, actually. I was like, I'm not going to sit in a hospital. I'm not doing it. I'll die
on
here.
my couch. It's gonna be fine.
Yes. And he left to go with you guys that day.
Yep.
And I remember telling him, like, I can't even move. I can't. And he called me a few minutes later because he told you how sick I was. And you told him to get me into
the office.
The office.
I was like, I have an office. Take her there.
And he called me and said, can you drive yourself to Jamie is wants you to go get an IV, and I'm like, "Oh, what? I don't think I can do it."
Dying on
It
the
wa
couch, okay?
it was the worst. But I was so sick. I was like, I knew it was either if I didn't do something, I was gonna end up in the ER probably.
Mhm.
So I did, made it to the office, and I just remember I just threw myself in that incredible massage chair. But I mean, I literally just felt so bad and got the IV started, and I'm
No
thinking,
problem, because she's a really rough
I
stick.
am a rough stick,
Yeah.
and he got me
Mhm.
first time, and I got the drip, and it went through, and I remember I was started even thinking, "I think I'm starting to feel a little better,"
Mhm.
and then that night, I was in the grocery store, like, by 5 o'clock that afternoon, I was
It's
grocery shopping.
amazing. I know. Someone just told me, the other day, she goes, "I refer to these as my miracle IVs." And I was like, "Okay.
I
All right.
like
I like it.
I like
I will take that as long as it's helping."
I
Yeah.
love it. That's a
Yeah.
good way to put it
Yeah.
because we had an event today, and I
Mhm.
think I told about 350 people that came through. I was like, "Try it at least
What?
once,
Mhm.
and once you try it, you will totally get it." So,
100%.
yeah,
Mhm. I
because
agree.
it's that good. So that's what we thought tonight we would just talk about the different because full circle is that's who you are. That's what you started to help people
Yeah.
and I think a lot of people don't understand what the different IVs that we have and what they do.
Mhm.
And so I thought, wow, that would be awesome for
Let's
us
talk
just to
about
kind of talk about it and let
exactly.
people know that have questions
Yeah. Yeah.
of all the different ones and
And I like
some of your faves and why you like them and why you think we should go get them.
you got
And why aren't we doing one right
I
now
know.
while we're talking
It
about it?
was
Is what
such
I
a
want
great
to.
idea.
That was a
Just
great
be
idea.
chilling on the
We just had it
couch.
a little too late.
I know. We're like, "Too late, guys. Sorry. Next time. Next
That's
time."
right. We should be in the office right now having an idea as we're doing our podcast.
Jessica. Let's relax.
So we'll do that. And yeah, we'll have to do one of those.
Yes,
Right?
well,
Yeah.
sounds good to me. Next time.
That's
Next time.
right. That's right. So tell us about for somebody maybe who has never gotten one before,
Mhm.
they're maybe not even that sick or they're not sick,
Yeah.
they don't get sick.
Mhm.
Like I said, I usually don't. And I don't very often, but um like what's one that you would recommend for somebody to just go in and say, "Okay, I want to try this IV
Yeah.
therapy."
Well, Myers is a go-to. That's what
Mhm.
everybody
My
loves.
fave.
Yeah, that's what most people like to get just because you've heard about it before or you've seen about it. It's got lots of vitamins in there. And so you pretty much get the whole thing. Like even if you got some sinus issue going on plus some energy stuff, it helps with all of it. So that's
Yeah.
one of those that I'm like, just get that, especially if you
Yeah.
have a lot of stuff going on.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it's just what I like to point out with these is it's just vitamins and fluids. That's
Mhm.
it. We don't put
Mhm.
anything crazy in there. And that's where the holistic part comes in because we mix blends to help you with certain things. Like we have one for energy,
Yeah.
say you're just depleted, you're just tired. We all are, but you really need a boost. That one really helps because of the blend of vitamins we have, like B12, the B complex, vitamin C, things like that.
Mhm.
We also have ones like the beauty, which helps with our skin and our hair, and it just has glutathione at the end, which is really good for us. So we have different ones specifically depending on what your needs are. But I
Mhm.
also like to tell people, if you let me know, hey, I have this, this, and this going on, then we can personally just make one for you too.
That's good.
That's the cool.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
'Cause, sometimes a lot of people may, yeah, look and go, "Oh, well, I don't that's not quite fitting what I need,"
hmm
but they can be personalized
exactly.
for
Yeah, and
everybody.
nothing's ever, we put it together. We do it the day that you come in. Nothing's
Mhm.
frozen. Nothing's, and it's all done by certified people. Just so y'all know.
Yes, yes.
And so like,
And they're wonderful, and again, I'm a hard stick,
yeah, the
so
hard
it's
stick.
great because they're really good. Yeah.
Yeah,
Our
and you don't
nurses are
and
great.
you get the treatment just like you would at the hospital. So I tell even people that get kidney stones or, have sickle cell or things like you would normally go to the hospital for,
Mhm.
come do that first because we have some other therapies that we can add to it, but try it, and then you don't
Yeah.
have to go to a hospital.
Yeah.
Sit in the ER.
Sit in the ER, you spend hours upon hours
Mhm.
just sitting in
And then
there.
you just get discharged and you're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, I could have done
And all you're getting,
this
right,
just
is
saline."
just saline.
Mhm.
When you go to the hospital, it's just a bag of saline.
Yep.
There's nothing good for you that's in it that's gonna help you.
Just a boost in
It's
your
just a
fluids.
hydration.
Yeah,
So with the IVs, you're getting hydrated
on top of that.
on top of it,
Yeah,
right?
on top of the vitamins, and that's the
Yeah.
cool part,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And so, we have the Myers, we have one called the Detox, so that one's really popular for people that are really, "I just wanna do a detox, would this be good?" Yes,
Mhm,
I'm like, "Absolutely." And then there's people that are coming off, say, detoxing, and they said, "Would
mm,
this help, really just finish that last
mhm,
part?" I'm like, "Yes, absolutely, that'll help with that too." So, we've got that option too, but it's a
mhm.
natural detox, so I know some can
Yeah.
be very rough.
So I had someone ask me about that, the detox before. So they had food poisoning
Mhm,
and had gotten very sick.
mhm.
And so is that something that you feel like would help in that case, or would that be
So there's a point sometimes, like, where have you ever heard of anybody doing a detox and getting sick?
yeah,
Okay. Because it's too much for their
too
body.
much, God.
So I wouldn't advise it for that.
Okay.
We would do the relief for
Oh,
them
okay, okay.
because we can then add Zofran if we
Mhm,
need to, and that's
okay.
for nausea.
Got
That's one of the only medications that we carry on top of we have Toradol too, which
yes.
will help with inflammation.
Now, let's talk about that because
Mm.
a few weeks back, it's
Mhm.
been a few weeks,
Yeah.
I had a little accident and
Her knee. Oh, her
I
knee. Yeah.
yes, I was maybe walking too fast. It would sound so much better, like, if I fell off a ski lift or something.
Always does, but nobody has a full story. It's all good. Nobody
I
does.
literally was just walking too fast, and
Oh,
actually, and I was looking down because I was texting, not paying attention.
yeah.
Go
Yeah.
figure.
I know.
And literally off the curb I went and
She
fell on my knee, my whole right side. And so after I went to FedEx, 'cause I had to go do some work, and then I'm like,
hobbling in, right?
yes,
She's hobbling.
and I was bleeding, and I finally I called Jaimi and told her what happened. What happened was,
Yeah.
but I was hurt. I was in so much pain.
I was like, go.
Yes,
Mhm.
and so I ended up going in, and because you don't even like, the first thing that came to my mind was not, "Oh, I should go get an IV for this." It really didn't.
Mhm.
I just yeah, making sure I hadn't broken anything, which I didn't. But, it was very swollen and just I was
Painful. You
very,
were limping, I thought.
very much pain,
Mhm.
and went in and got the Myers, and
Mhm.
we added Toradol
Mhm.
to it, which helped, yeah, with the
Swelling.
pain and
The
the
pain.
swelling, and it was amazing. I was back to me.
I know.
Yeah,
And that's what I tell people. I'm like, we
yeah.
don't have to go through all that. Of course,
Mhm.
nothing life threatening, don't come in,
Yeah.
sure, don't, I can't fix that there, okay?
You better call
But
911.
yeah, but for like inflammation and swelling,
Yeah,
it's absolutely we have one of those. We
yeah,
have that option if
yeah,
someone needs it for sure.
yeah. So it's not just even like where you're feeling sick
Yeah.
or things like that.
Yeah.
It's also so, and we have a lot of people that come in for migraines, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
one
We
of
were
the
just
big
talking about that.
things.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that's one of the reasons why I offered that, because I used to have migraines really bad.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I was like, this should be something that you don't have to go to the hospital for. You
Exactly.
don't have to get all these narcotics for. This can be treated.
Yeah.
So most of the time, people are already feeling better by the time they leave because they do the
Yes.
relief. That's when
Yeah.
they do.
And I have gotten better when I go to the office because we do have so many people that come in for migraines. So I walk in sometimes and I might be a little loud,
No, not
and
Anita.
no, I'm like, "Oh, the lights are off." And then somebody's
And then
sitting
you
in
hear
the
the
corner getting
waves.
their little
Yeah.
their IV because they have a migraine so bad, and here comes Nita. Um, so I have gotten I have gotten better. Like, I walk in, I'm like,
They're peeking around the
yeah,
corner.
peeking
Hey,
around the
spares,
corner, make
please.
sure I'm not
Oh.
about to scare somebody. I may have done that today. I don't think she was in there for a migraine. She was getting the IV, and I came in the back door, and anyway, I saw her when I went around the corner.
No
But
wonder.
yeah, so but So, yeah, so that's a big one, migraines that we see a lot. I feel like we have a lot of people
Yep.
that come in for that.
Migraines a lot for
Yeah.
sure. We do a lot of the relief because people get stomach bugs and the flu. That's the go-to
Mhm.
for that. So there's
Okay.
a lot of that, a lot of the Energizer and the Defender. So we haven't talked about that one. That's the
Oh,
one that
yes.
boosts up your immune system.
Yeah.
Like when you're
So
flying.
flying and
Mhm.
traveling a lot,
Yep.
like some people do, and I think we both do our share of that,
Yes, now. Yes, we do.
but it does, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can get that before you
Travel
travel and it
because you're around all those people on an airplane
mhm.
and you hear them. It never fails.
Yes.
And you're like, really? Are you serious right now?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. So it helps prevent.
At least it's not as bad as when COVID was going around, God forbid if you
Oh my
cough on the
gosh, if you
plane.
coughed, everybody
Everybody
was
was like
like, "You have it." And you're like, "Oh my gosh, it's just allergies." I swear it's just
I'm tr
allergies. I was
I'm
choking on my water. It's okay.
right. I was like, how many times? Like, I'd be scared. And of course, when I start sneezing, I sneeze like 12 times in a row. And I'm like, oh, everybody's going to be thinking I'm sick. I'm really not.
She's got it. Yeah.
She has the C word.
Yeah. Yeah. We can't even say it.
No, yes. But yeah, so that is really a good one
Mhm.
for people who do travel a lot. If you're out, yeah, getting ready to go on a trip or
Oh,
anything like that, it's great to keep your immunity system up.
mhm. Mhm. One of my favorites though is the NAD infusion.
Yes, let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
amazing. You haven't tried that one yet.
I haven't.
If y'all thought Anita talked a lot now, you definitely talk a lot then.
Uh oh.
You get energy.
Uh oh.
You get an energy that you cannot compare because you have no crash. Because so as we get older, our NAD goes down. So we naturally have it in our body. And it's almost involved in every energy cycle. So think about how many
Wow.
things we have going on in our body that is dependent on that.
Yeah.
So, but as we get older, it goes down along with when we get sick, it goes down. And nobody ever thinks to hey, I'm depleted. I need to restore this.
Hmm.
And so this also will repair DNA. This will,
That's amazing.
and that part right there is why I use it for like the vaccine injuries.
Oh,
I have people that have had problems after they received it. So I'm like, come in, this fixes your DNA, give me 4 weeks. And usually after that, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm a new person. Because a lot of times they have brain fog, they have weird things that are going on with their body. Like I've had somebody that had like a rash all over and it went away once we
mm.
started the NAD
Okay.
instantly.
Wow.
And so it repairs your DNA, but also helps with aging. Like it's the most amazing thing. And
Well,
so
I better
once you
go
start
tomorrow,
I know,
sister.
right? Me too. I'm going with her. All right. But it really does it. It gives you that and it doesn't make you crash. It's just awesome.
Hmm.
Like when I get the infusion, yeah, I have to sit there because sometimes it's a slower infusion
Yeah,
because
because that
you
one
go up
does
in
take a
dose.
little longer,
Yeah.
right?
You
Than
go up in doses each week
oh,
to
okay.
get you boosted.
Gotcha.
And then we just do it once a month after
Oh,
that.
okay.
But once you get to that fourth one, you're like, oh, this is what she's talking about, and you just feel fantastic.
Yeah.
So then you feel like you did when you were 20s. That's what I tell everybody. It's great. Yeah, it's great. So it's something to definitely try. It helps with that brain fog, the mental clarity.
Mm.
A lot of people are using it for anti-aging now. It's like a
Okay.
big rage on TikTok, things like that.
That's yeah, I love it when people oh, NAD, and that's
Yeah.
what I think that's where they relate it
Oh
the
yeah.
most.
Yeah. I'm like, I've been
Yeah.
doing this forever. What y'all talking about? Y'all just not finding out about it. Okay.
Exactly. I love
Mhm.
it. But yeah, because TikTok said it,
I know. So it must be great,
it
right?
must be.
So we do that one sub Q. So say you don't want to sit for an injection, that one does help. But I do that one only if I don't have time. But I do like the infusion. The best.
Okay.
So
Okay.
and we have all sorts of protocols we can do that. But NAD can also be used for people that want to detox, like truly detox from like alcohol, drugs, things like that.
Okay.
As a whole different protocol, they would have to talk to me about that, but it works for that too.
That's great.
Yes,
That's
really cool.
great.
And then we got we've got the CBD IV, which you talked about once.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We had several a lot of people today. Um I feel like they because a lot of them saw about the pain relief on
Mhm.
it and
Sleep.
the sleep, yes, all
Mhm.
those things that it helps with,
Yeah,
right?
and it has 0 THC. So that's a lot of people what they worry about.
Yes, yes.
And this has to be pure because it's sterile, right?
Mhm.
So this brand only is the only one that makes it, and it is pure. So there's no THC, anything like that. But it does help with inflammation. It's something that you need to do on a consistent basis.
Mhm.
It's just like taking one of those CBD gummies one time. You can
Yeah,
just do it
and that's
once.
not gonna
Yeah,
exactly.
you consistently, at least like if you're not don't want to do it twice every 2 weeks, do it once a month kind
Mhm.
of thing. But it will help you. You'll notice that the inflammation starts to go down, you'll sleep better, anxiety, even
Mhm.
depression, some things like that, it helps with.
And so that's a big one is the anxiety that
Mhm.
so it you have found that it helps
Oh, yeah,
people with that, right? Okay.
absolutely. We have that, and then we also have the attitude adjustment, which I
What? Wait, do I need that?
well, it depends on the day, right?
Wait, maybe I need that one too tomorrow. Attitude
Yep,
adjustment. I love it.
I remember when I first made that one, I tested on we went to an event and my friend was hosting it, and I
Mhm.
said, "Try this one," because she was having a really rough day. I
Yeah.
said, "And just let me know." So she sat there quietly getting it, and then we hooked her, well, taped her all up, gone, and I was like, "Oh, was it good?" She came back flying by, she was like, "Oh my gosh, it feels so much better. This was great," and I was like, "All right, it works. All right, we're gonna add that to that."
There you
So it
go.
feels good.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it really helps with the mood. It helps
That's
with the
great.
stress part of it. It
Yeah.
also has like magnesium in it.
Mhm.
And so it really helps with all of that.
That's great. That's awesome. And I love I when I've gone in the office sometimes seeing couples in there
Yes.
together
Yes.
and they're both getting an IV.
Mhm. Mhm. Makes you
And
feel good.
so I think a couple attitude adjustment would
Right?
be
It's like, "Do you need one?" I know there's been a few times I'm like, "Kevin, just don't even ask. I know what's
just
on your
yeah,
tongue
let's
today."
do this.
Mhm.
And I think that's important too, because is that a lot of this is not just for women,
No, anybody can.
right?
Yes,
And
absolutely.
let me ask you this, because that would you get asked this a lot. What is the youngest age
That will do
that you'll
is
do?
12. That's the youngest. And
Okay.
I tell parents, of course, they have to come with them, and it
Mhm.
has to be someone that's okay with doing it. Like, I would
Yes.
never hold down a person to give them an IV. Not in my office. I already had to do that in the ER when I worked for
Yeah.
pediatrics. So I tell the parents up front, I'm like, as long as they're okay with it, I don't want anybody to be traumatized from
Yeah.
just coming to see us. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? So
Exactly.
we will, and usually most of the time they're grown size anyways, because most of the
Mhm.
time by the time
Yeah.
they're 13, 14, 15, they're adult weight
Mhm.
almost,
Yeah.
and their parents come with them. They
Yes.
sign the consents, and most of the time, like, we'll have even football players, we'll have
Mhm.
people come in, and it helps. Like,
Yeah.
it helps their stamina, it helps how they
Mhm.
feel afterwards. I tell people all the time, especially football, I'm
Mhm.
like, "Give that extra fluid on the brain so that way when they're hitting that, at least
That's
they get a
right.
little bit extra padding and cushion
Yeah.
in there, and it really
Exactly.
helps on that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I have football
Yeah.
players that come in all the time, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm ready to
So
still
good.
go."
That's
And then
right.
their teammates are like, "Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, we're tired." So,
Yeah.
"Let's go. I'm ready." So
Yes.
I like that.
And so we had one in our Texas office that just went. She went in before she ran the Boston Marathon
Yeah.
and went and had an IV and then said, how great she felt
Yeah.
with that. So it's kind of before and then recovery after as well that the
Yep,
IVs
we
can
have the
help.
recovery for that one. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it just has the athlete, whichever one you wanna
Mhm.
call, but it has those amino acids in there. It helps you recover or get ready for it.
Mhm. Yeah.
And then you just feel so much better. I remember Kevin working out really hard one time, like, couldn't even hardly, like, lift his arms. You did that
Yeah.
next
Yeah.
day. I said, "Come in, at least get that, see how you feel."
Oh yeah.
And by day 2, which is usually worse,
Mhm.
he was like, "Oh my gosh, I feel better." And I'm like,
Mhm.
"Just hello?" Yeah.
Exactly. Yes, I so wish when my son was playing football
Mhm.
that we
Just have an
had the
option.
IVs, yes,
Mhm.
because yeah, that was something we didn't do, but or we didn't and when he was playing. When he got to college, I think they were
Maybe start. Yeah,
starting
yeah.
kinda, but it wasn't
Wasn't a big thing, or people
available
didn't know. Yeah,
like it is now, it's just yeah.
yeah.
So definitely for athletes and people that are working out
Mhm.
and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for normal people that wanna just take care of themselves,
Mhm.
sick or athletes, things like
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
that's why I like it all because you
So
can treat
much.
everybody.
And we have a lot of even older people, right,
Mhm.
that come in,
Yeah.
and it helps them. We have a sweet little lady in there not too long ago.
Mhm.
I just adored her, and she was her doctor sent her over
Mhm.
because she was very dehydrated.
We get that a lot
Yeah,
with the older
and he
population.
said, yeah, that he sent him over and said, "I have a place I want you to go.
Good, yeah, and
Got
you
a
don't have to
party
go to the
for you, and you
hospital.
don't have to go sit and wait
Mhm.
in the hospital."
Yeah.
And she was just, yeah, the sweetest, little lady, and she was already starting to feel better as she was sitting there,
That's
and
what I like about it. You instantly
it's
start to
instant.
see it, and you're like,
And why is it so like, why is it work so fast?
"Well, because it's 100% bioavailable, so we don't have to pass through our stomach, we don't have to do any of that, it goes straight into your vein. So, therefore, it starts to work way faster, and you don't have to sit there and drink water and hopefully get enough in there, so that's why those
That's
people
good.
come in often
Because
because
if you take vitamins by mouth,
Mhm,
we only absorb how
like
much?
25 to 30%.
So, we're not even getting
Yeah, what you
taking
think you
those
are.
big old
And what you're
vitamins that
paying
we gotta
for it. Yeah.
swallow.
Yeah, and think about how much you pay for that bottle. And you can just
Yes.
come in and get an IV, and then you can do that every 2 weeks, and that keeps you boosted up pretty good.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I mean, that in itself, and that's the thing too, and I do tell people that all the time,
Mhm.
um, because unfortunately we have where insurance doesn't pay,
Yeah.
because they don't make money off of vitamins, right?
I
Um,
know, imagine that.
yeah,
Mhm.
but for me, I would much rather go and pay for an infusion that's going to
Instantly. Me too.
instantly make me feel better
Yes.
than going to pay my copay.
Mhm.
Then I'm gonna go sit somewhere for 1 to 2 hours or longer, sometimes longer, and then I'm gonna get prescriptions that I'm then gonna have to go get
Have to go get
filled,
filled.
right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, no, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a I feel like, and again, that's why I tell just go try it once,
Yes.
and you will understand
Yeah.
how much to me, how quick it
It helps.
works
Absolutely.
and
Yeah.
how it helps because you feel so much better.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Mhm.
And it's just getting a hold because people think, "Oh my gosh, it's an IV. Something
Yeah.
must be wrong."
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, "No,
Yeah.
no, it's not. We're good. It's okay over here."
That's right. Yeah.
But it works faster, just like you said, and
Mhm.
it's way more effective. I'd much rather people holistically come in and try to at least treat that sinus infection, all the things that can happen first
Yeah.
before then you have to get
Exactly.
antibiotics. Because then that's when we talk about the root cause things and how antibiotics mess up your stomach,
Mm.
all that stuff.
Yes.
So,
I was talking to someone the other day, about that, like,
mhm,
her stomach is just so messed up because the doctors had her on so many antibiotics,
yep.
and she's still not better and not feeling good at all,
Mhm.
and, but that's it, you tell people and it's like, "Just try it, just
Yes.
try it,"
Yes. Yeah.
and
If
her
you'll let us try holistically, and we even offer functional medicine,
Mhm.
for that reason, like we can really get to the root cause and be like, oh, this is why it still bothers you. Let's fix it.
Yes,
And that's what
yeah.
I like about it. But we try to do that too, very short term when you come in for
Mhm.
your infusions.
Yeah, and another great part is that you can go in and you're seen very quickly,
Hmm.
and then you have massage chairs, and you get to sit and relax
Yeah.
it takes about 45 minutes to an hour,
So,
about an hour for
yeah.
the whole appointment,
Yeah.
but,
I agree.
by the time you get your IV hooked up,
Hmm.
but it really is a very relaxing experience, so it's not stressful in any way, shape, or
We've
form.
had people snoring. So it's like, mission accomplished. We're
Ah,
good. All right.
they're sleeping really good right now. I love it. I love it. Yeah, it is. It is funny because some people, I think they get so excited to be able to just go and almost hide
I
out.
know, for at least 60 minutes. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
just go hide. Don't answer the phone,
That's
just
right.
relax for a
Just
minute.
relax.
Uh,
Yes, yes.
that's why if you notice, we don't have any electronics in there,
Yeah.
things like that for
Mm-mm.
that
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's very relaxing. Yes, I love it. It's just a great. I think again, if we can just get our mindset
Yeah.
right, switch from, "Oh, I have to go to the doctor and
Yeah.
I need to go get medicine.
Yep.
Just try it and
See,
see what happens, right?
all I could do is you not like it.
Yeah,
And it's like, okay.
exactly,
But most of the
exactly.
time, that never happens.
Yes,
You're like, I'll be
exactly.
coming back. Yes. Yes.
And then 2, I know we were gonna talk a little bit about because I asked, one of the things that we see a lot is POTS,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about that and
Mhm.
how it can help.
So a lot of times, these people oftentimes have like dizziness, palpitations, brain fog, especially, it gets worse when we are going from standing or doing things
Mhm.
like that. And so this helps with the volume. That's one of the issues with
Okay,
that. So
okay,
POTS is, fluctuations in their, fluid levels, things like that.
okay.
And so this helps normalize that or get at a better state. So not only are we doing fluids, but you also get vitamins too that help you out. And so like the Myers is fantastic for
Mm,
that. Even the Energizer, anything like that's really going to help them feel better, but also it helps with your brain fog. It helps with those, when their heart's beating really fast, things like that, because
mm.
we're helping replace the volume. And
Okay,
that's what fluids do. So
gotcha.
that's why I'm like, just give it a try. Most of the time, almost 100% of the time of all pots, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I feel so much better by the time
Mm,
they leave."
okay, okay.
So it's something that really helps with that. I tell people to try to make them aware, but I think every time I post about it, everybody's like, "What?
I
This can
know.
help?"
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah,
"Yes, 100%."
yeah.
We have sometimes people that will get 2 bags, just because they want that when they need that
Okay,
volume or that
okay,
much fluids to make them feel better.
okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like it is I've not heard of it as much as I have lately
Mhm.
about people that have.
Yeah. It's
Is
one of
it
those
POTS
things.
syndrome? Is
It's
that
POTS,
it's
yeah.
really that's what
Mhm.
it's called, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a big talk technical. Let me read it out to you.
Okay.
Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. So
Okay.
most of the time, like when they're going from sitting to standing,
Mhm.
the heart starts beating really fast. They
Okay.
get dizzy.
Mhm.
They may feel really tired, brain fog, things like that.
Okay, okay.
Sometimes that's very debilitating, depending on how bad fluid levels are, kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So that's why this
So
helps
that's
so
a big there you
much.
go.
Yes,
Yes.
because I feel like you can't drink enough, especially when you
Mhm.
have something like that. And so
Mhm.
this really helps.
Yeah.
So we'll have some people that come in once a week, every 2 weeks. I always know, all right, it's time. Or, they're
Yeah.
very in tune with their symptoms and they know, okay, I need to go ahead and come in before it gets
Mhm.
bad.
That's good.
Yeah. So I really love
It
that.
just I f even as you're talking, I'm so blown away by how I don't think we realize dehydration
Affects everything.
affects
Yeah,
us.
that's what gives us headaches. That's what makes us cranky. That's what's getting to have has half the problem with that too. So
Yes.
yeah, but we don't drink enough water.
No, no.
I know,
You're
right?
right.
Oh, I
No.
try, but like right now,
I'm
I'm like,
drinking
"Oh
too
my
much
gosh,
coffee now.
sorry, not sorry."
I'm just saying it
I
might
mean,
be
if
your
I had an
fault.
IV if I had an IV,
Well, I sent you a picture that one day and said, "Oh, why don't we have
I
this? Why don't we have a coffee
that was
IV?"
maybe,
That's
yeah,
what I'm saying.
I would be like, go on all
Hook me up.
I'd be like, "Every day, let's go."
That's the best. That's what we really need. Or, well, we probably don't. Me and
Never
Kevin
gonna
don't.
sleep. I don't know if I can handle any more talking about
No,
that. Probably
probably
not.
not.
Yeah. Yeah,
Probably
but
not. And then one other thing I want to ask you about that I think people are probably should know more about is mistletoe therapy.
mhm.
So tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. So we offer like alternative holistic treatments for cancer, and that is one of them. I remember looking for this because used to have to go to Canada to get it, and it can
Wow.
treat cancer. So people that don't want the traditional treatments, or if they want a better quality of life, adding mistletoe helps with that.
Okay.
100%. Like it is something we start them off. We can do what they call sub Q injections
Mhm.
at home, and we make
Mhm.
sure that you tolerate it really well. And
Mhm.
mistletoe comes in 3 kinds. Like, you would think mistletoe is mistletoe,
Yeah.
but depending on their cancer, we have to match them with a certain type of mistletoe. And
Okay.
so we start off by doing the injections, depending on how aggressive it is and what
Mhm.
it's classified as, and then we can always move to the infusions.
Mm.
And so it's something that gives a better quality of life. It's not like it works like chemo, but not the bad way. It doesn't kill all your cells, things like
Mhm.
that. So it really helps be an adjunct, or you can do it by itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have someone that is on chemo or
Mhm.
taking chemo, they could
Do
do this in a
this
like,
they
as
can.
they're on their
Yeah.
chemo, right?
The only one they couldn't do with it is the vitamin C, high dose vitamin C.
Okay.
So if they are on chemo, we can't do both of those together, but we
Okay.
can do the mistletoe therapy.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it just offers, it helps them, with the nausea. It helps with just the everyday or the chemo
Mhm.
effects. That's for the mistletoe help
Yeah.
too, if they want to do both.
Yeah. And I mean, I've heard of several people that I've talked to where their physicians have told them, "Oh, yeah, this is an incredible therapy," right?
It is,
Mhm.
especially the ones that really know about it. Once you
Mhm.
really start hearing about it and you read about mistletoe therapy, you're like, why don't everybody know about this?
Yeah.
And that's again one of those. That's why I searched it out and found it. And I was like, we're going to offer this because there's somebody that's going to need it,
Yeah.
and we've already treated several people with it. And I thought it was so cool. I was like, there's three mistletoe. What? Like learning about everything. And I was like, this is
Yeah.
awesome. So just to provide, right now, they just came out with a holistic protocol for cancer treatment, which is the first of its kind because holistic therapies don't make a lot of money. So a lot of the drug companies don't do a lot of research about it. So
Okay.
this was like one that they funded, they found it, and there's a whole protocol now. And I just love it because it's all things that we can do if
Mhm.
they choose to go the holistic route instead of
Mm.
regular traditional medicine.
I love that. Love
And
that.
plus you feel better. Like because
Yeah.
you're getting fluids too on top of everything else. It helps with the dehydration and other
Mm.
things that can be going on.
Gotcha. Gotcha. So that's an incredible
Yeah.
just I think a lot of people who don't know about it
Hmm.
or haven't I think again I feel like so many times people you've heard maybe about even I just IV
Yeah.
hydration you've heard about it.
Oh, this is what I hear. Oh, that's what you do in Vegas, right? I'm like, "You can, but that's not the only reason we do it, you know?"
That's funny.
That's what everybody associates it
Everybody
with.
associates it with that.
Everybody,
That
they're
would
like,
be like the detox, right?
yeah,
They need it.
and to get you to stop throwing up because you're hungover, you know?
Uh,
Yeah, I said, "We can treat that, we got
yeah,
one."
we
I was
can
like,
help you with that.
"But that's not what it's for."
That's
Mhm.
right.
Take
That's right. Yes, yes. It's to me, I call it the hidden gem because I think it is something that has kind of been there, but now, I mean, now you're starting to see it.
Yes.
And but what I love about Full Circle
Mhm.
is that you get the 100% certified nurses,
Uh-huh.
nurse practitioners
Yep.
who are there with you, and that will walk you through it every step of the way. And that there's so much out there that we can offer
Yes.
to them, right?
Yeah, because people are looking for options now that don't have to be prescription medications. I have to go here. I have to do this.
Mhm.
And they're trying to get that more holistic route. And so that's why I love telling
Yes.
people about them because I was like, try it because absolutely you'll love it.
You will love it.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's you'll be hooked. That's my favorite. Hooked up to the IV. But it's really true. Like, yeah, like, I could get it every day and I think I would be happy,
Me
but
too. I'd be like, can we just leave that in? I'll just come back
yeah.
tomorrow.
But okay, so that fact, what do you recommend? Because I do have people ask all the time. So how often
So
should we
that's
get those?
totally dependent on how you feel. So if you've never done it before and you've been through a rough time, which we all, by the time we first find them, we're all like, wow, where were these at 10 years ago? I would have felt so much better all these years. So initially, that one, depending on how sick you've been, what you come in for, things like that, you'll feel good. It may last like a week. And so I tell people, you can come in weekly, you can come in every 2 weeks. I had some people that were so bad or had such bad symptoms with like POTS or things
Mhm.
like that. They were coming twice a week.
Wow.
And I was like, that's okay. What we do is we
Mhm.
just change up the infusions and
Mhm.
we keep up with which ones they have.
Yeah.
So I say once you get good, because they're like building blocks, the
Mhm.
first one may not last as long, but the next one will last longer just
Mm.
because your body's like, oh, we've had this before. Okay, we like this. So you'll start to notice it lasts longer and
Yeah.
longer. And then so you may only have to come in once a month,
Mm.
once you start getting good and going. So,
Mhm.
but it's totally up to you. You can
Yeah.
come in weekly, every 2 weeks, every month, just depending on how you feel. So I just tell people, you'll know when you start going like this, come back in.
But it's time.
Come back in. When you're dragging, you're tired again, things like
Yes,
that.
yes. Especially with that energy, you
Mhm.
I think you feel it so quickly, so
Yeah.
fast,
Mhm.
and then you can tell when, "Oh, yeah, I probably need to go back now."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yes. But they are, I think they're life-changing, I really do.
Yes. Yeah.
They're amazing, and again, the biggest part to it, I feel like, is that if especially if you're looking for that alternative
Yeah.
where you don't wanna be on medicines, you don't wanna be on prescription drugs,
Yeah.
and I'm one of
Me
those,
too.
and so if you don't, there are options,
Yeah.
and I would say too, but be sure because you don't wanna just go to anybody
I agree with that
either.
statement. Yeah, make sure that
You have to make
they're
sure.
certified and they're,
Yeah.
RNs, nurse practitioners. And because I've heard of some things, I've been told about some things that I was
Mhm.
like, what? And so
Yes, yeah,
just make
absolutely.
sure,
Yeah.
verify. I'll have people I go out of town and I'm like, I don't know about that one. I'm not in
Yeah.
that state. I was like, just make sure. See who's doing that. See what their
Exactly.
credentials are.
I
Just
and
make sure.
that's what you just said. I would do that. I would definitely look into it, make
Mm.
sure they're credentialed for what they're doing,
Yes.
and, and you can go on and research the companies or whatever,
Mhm. Mm.
but just that's it. I mean, if I'm gonna do it, I sure wanna make sure that I have a certified nurse who's there to take care of me,
Exactly.
and so, yeah, and that's when we offer that, and our nurses are incredible, and so we have our office in Warner Robins, we have one in Fort Worth, Texas,
Mhm.
we have one in Kalispell,
Kalispell.
Montana,
Yeah.
and then in Great
Yep.
Falls, Montana. So,
Yep. Great Falls is about to be a bit different. It's a collaboration. It's gonna be
yeah,
really cool. I'm
it's
really
gonna be
excited about it.
fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, getting a renovation
They're getting
and
a renovation.
a new face on it.
They
Yeah,
are.
it's gonna be so much fun. So, yeah, and then in Warner Robins,
Mhm.
which that's probably another podcast
Whole
to
nother
do,
podcast.
but we are adding
Mhm. We have
some
a
new
collaboration.
services,
Yep, we
right?
have the collaboration with our friends at Peaceful Parenting. Um,
Oh,
you
they're
know,
so
she's wonderful,
wonderful.
Sabrina.
Yeah.
She is lactation consultant. She's the ILBC. I don't want to get your credentials wrong, but yes, she is certified in that. She can help with childbirth classes. We've talked about doing a whole bunch of things, like even bringing some yoga for pregnancy, things like
Yes,
that.
yes.
And so that's what she does. And then Emily, who is with LKK, is going to be doing like this 3D, 4D ultrasounds.
How incredible.
And then we'll have red light therapy, which is safe for pregnancy. That's a whole nother podcast on its
That
own.
is,
And
yes.
things like that that'll help out.
Mhm.
But
And the cold one
and the cold plunge, yep.
that
Mhm.
I'm sure I'm gonna do.
Yeah. I can't wait. That's gonna be a whole
How long do I have to stay in that?
the longest is 2 minutes. You probably won't
Oh,
stay
I
long.
would, yeah, 2
Yeah.
seconds,
No, I
maybe?
know Kevin about did that the first time. I was like, no, you have to get back in. And then you didn't get any benefit out of that.
That is so funny. But yeah, so we're excited because we've added, that so we're in the same suite
Mhm.
as or the
Yeah.
same office area,
Yeah.
and then just in another suite.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
yeah, so we've had that addition, so it's very exciting.
Yeah, we're excited about at least having a whole place where at least when you're pregnant or even preconception, postpartum, you have somewhere to go and we can
Yes.
help because
Yeah.
then I'll also see people through telemedicine if they need something postpartum like mastitis, things like that that are postpartum related, just to help with that. That's what
Yeah.
we're here for. So
That's
that
right.
way it's kind of like a one stop. At least we can go there and get all this taken
Yes,
care of.
absolutely. So we are here to help, and we have lots of great things that can help holistically. And tonight we just covered
Just the IV therapy.
just the IV therapy. So there's so much more, and we'll talk about that in
Mm,
podcasts and episodes to
we
come.
will.
But yeah, so it's exciting and it's wonderful, and it's just, I feel like something that Full Circle and you have offered,
Yeah.
and so many people that can benefit.
Yes, if they'll just come see us.
Just come see us
Mhm.
at Full Circle Health and Wellness. And yeah, hope to see y'all soon.
Yes.
And yeah, and we'll be back on our next podcast
I
next
know.
week, right?
Yes, we
It'll
will.
be time. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe not 7 more days.
I know. We'll not make you wait long.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Good talk. Good talk.
And that wraps up another episode of Holistic Synergy Podcast, where spirit, soul, and body come together in harmony.
If you enjoyed today's podcast, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who could use a little extra synergy in their life. Stay connected with us on YouTube, TikTok, and our other social channels. And as always, our prayer is that you may prosper and that you are as healthy in body as you are strong in spirit, and to always enjoy the journey.